Hello and welcome to the show. Today we have got a Porsche taking on the Hot Wheels Showdown. The 928 GTS has come to Forza for the first time. It is currently, I believe at the time this video is going to go out, it's currently available. You can win it via a Forza-thon. I can never say Forza-thon. I have to really think about that word. Either way, it can be one from one of those challenges. Fairly straightforward thing to do. So yeah, if you want to get hold of the car, it is available. I think it's available until maybe Sunday night, Monday morning, something like that. Either way, we're going to build it up for the Hot Wheels track. It is perfectly in that golden era of late 80s, early 90s car. Plenty, I say plenty, relatively good amount of PI to play around with, expecting it to be a pretty damn fast car here. We are going to stick it on, of course, the race tyres. We'll jump the PI up a fair old way. It does start with a decent amount of power, though, a little bit on the heavy side, perhaps, so we'll focus on some weight reduction. 265s at the front is pretty good, and we are going to have, that's some good-sized tyres, 315s at the rear. Looking promising. So far, so good. Let's go and grab some aero on the car, splitter, and of course a rear wing. It's kind of a mighty-ish. The body shape's not the easiest. Like with most Porsches, not the easiest to put a rear wing on, but there we go. Right, let's go grab brakes. Let's do handling stuff first. Brakes, suspension. We will want anti-roll bars, both front and rear. We'll want a full-on roll cage, and let's try and get some weight out of the damn thing. It's going to be a heavier car. That's going to be a heavier car, 3,000 pounds. We might not quite have the monstrous power-to-weight ratios, but we will have to wait and see. Regarding conversions, you can swap the engine in the vehicle. You can put in the 4-litre flat 6 if you so wish. We're going to try and make it work, or with the standard engine, it's going to be a case of try and see how it goes. We'll probably want turbo. We'll see I don't know what the engine can do. If the engine can't get to the top of the class with the upgrades for the PI, then we will swap it out. But yeah, don't know. As of yet, if we can keep it naturally aspirated, I am okay with that. We might be able to save some weight, but I don't think we're going to get the power out of it naturally aspirated, are we? We can use, we'll have to go for a big old turbo for this one. I say big old turbo. We can go for a big old turbo, or we can go for twin turbos. I'm thinking we're going to go for, actually we'll go for a single turbo. Why not? Same power gains. We'll go for a single turbo on that one, and then just chuck everything else on the car, pretty much, and hope for the best. It's the best approach to have when building a car. Throw bits on, hope for the best. We're up to 660 horsepower. Power-wise, we're looking kind of in the window around the same sort of figures we saw from the Commodore. I think it might be slightly heavier than the Commodore, but we might be able to get a little bit more power out of it. Have we got, I've now done this all in a wonky order, but have we got most bits installed that we can with the engine? We have done pistons, okay. So our only options here, we can go intercooler. It'll give it another 36 horsepower, but will increase the weight. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go intercooler. I'm not going to bother with oil and cooling on this, because it tends to be for minimal power gains. 7 horsepower, no, not worth it. And it's a game, we don't have to worry about the cooling and so on, so we will ignore any of that. We will, though, grab driveline. We will grab a differential. We can grab clutch, or do we want to grab a gearbox? And we'll grab a gearbox and clutch. Might as well do all of that. So 740 horsepower, near enough 700 torque, around the 3,000 pound mark. Statistics speaking, good. Tyre size, good. Era, even, good. Maybe we will have something to challenge the Holden. If not that, certainly challenge the top 10. So here we are at the skyscraper takeoff circuit. Our 928 is going to have 5 laps to try and go as fast as possible. The time to beat set by that Holden Commodore is a 132.8. Only one vehicle has gone sub 133. In fact, second place is on a 33.5. So if we can get into the 33s, we will be doing well. If we can go sub 33, even if we can't quite beat the Commodore, it would be a impressive, it would be an incredible showing. And I do think this car might just about be capable of the drive out of these corners. The traction is very, very good indeed. Even on cold tyres, we are carrying good speed around turn 3. These are all promising signs. Where it may come a little bit undone, we might not have the greatest mid-speed acceleration. It's sort of the 120 to 170 that we might have trouble with in the Porsche, with it being a little bit heavier potentially than some of the other cars. Oh, we're going to run a bit wide there. Let's see what we can do. If we can crack 170 in towards this split area, we will be doing well. Oh, it's only 163 though. Now, we can probably do better with a better run out of the previous corner and so on. But that might, and again, we don't know what the top speed is going to be like as we head towards the loop. That being said, the Commodore wasn't the fastest with the accelerations. You know, we're not going to compete with 1,000 horsepower cars, but we do still need to be able to get some speed out of the vehicle in terms of a top end. We're going to bounce. Oh, there's a big bounce on the landing. How do we do around the loop? Do we want fifth gear there? Oh, maybe not quite. If we can get a good run around the loop, we shouldn't need it. We're going to run towards 218 miles an hour. It's good figures so far. We're looking pretty good figures. It's going to be all about the quarter speed. That's where we're going to have to make up our time, though. I say we have to make up our time. Where we are going to make lap speed is carrying quarter speed. The straight line speed is good, but it's still slower than, for example, the Dodge Dart. That did 220 plus, and it's always going to be slower than the Nova, for example. Let's throw it into this next corner, try and maintain speed up over the crest there. It does brake sideways ever so slightly, but it's only a minor little thing. I could be a lot braver. There's definitely more speed to be had there. I was a little bit cautious, and then we made a silly mistake on the exit that wiggled our way towards the wall, but there we go. Just how good are the brakes in this car? Pretty good. They're not outstanding. We're going a little bit slower than some cars and braking at about the same point to make sure we get it stopped for the split section, which isn't quite ideal. Do we want third out of there, or do we want fourth? I think fourth, perhaps. It's going to be our best option, launching it out of that corner. Up towards the boost pad we go. No, we are going to want sixth gear. Worth a try, seeing if fifth would work. We're actually launching it the wrong side for the boost pad as well. That's not particularly great. Around the loop we go. Again, if we can get a perfect run, things will be looking pretty neat. Oh, we were a mile an hour quicker at 219. The big stop into that final corner. Should have had it in second. I think it was a 35 something. A little bit of a scruffy lap there, though. So potential for some more speed. Although the Commodore's time is looking relatively safe. I'm liking this car, do not get me wrong. This is a very, very nice vehicle to drive. I don't think it's quite going to have enough, though, to beat the Holden unless I get everything absolutely 100% perfect around here. Now, that was a little bit late on the turn-in. I think that is the nastiest corner on this track. It's a really horrible, because you're kind of wanting to go to the right to try and get a better line for the left-hander, but you also don't want to be steering right when you've actually got to try and get the car around a left-hand corner. It's a funny turn to get perfect, and cars with very, very high levels of grip are always nice to drive when you can take that corner flat out. We haven't seen one for a little while that is going to run that turn flat. Here we go. Let's try and launch a little bit more to the right-hand side. Not so much that we go pinged it back towards the middle, which is not really what I want to do either. Around there. It's a better lap. It's just not going to be a perfect one. Here we go. On the exit of the loop, run towards the inside. Try and get some speed speed. Oh, it's going to be a really big stop. That's literally as late on the brakes as I can do with the Porsche. It's only a 35.1 though. There are a couple of places that we can improve on, I have no doubt. But only a 35.1 is not quite the speed that I was expecting from the car. Here we go, through turn 3. It's billowing smoke. I don't know why, because it wasn't really understeering or oversteering. There was not much going on there. It just kind of, that was, tires, I don't even know what I say, gave up. It was weird. Very weird as to why we were billowing smoke there. Right, let's not steer. Yeah, I'll try and not steer the car to the right. Just take the left-hander on the slightly tighter line. Kind of worked. I just don't think we've quite got the grip in this car. We haven't quite got the grip to make up for its, I say less than impressive. It's quick, but it's not quite fast enough. It's not quite quick enough accelerating out of the mid-speed stuff. The traction is really good from the for the low-speed stuff. It's very, very good at putting its power down, but the mid-speed bit is where we struggle slightly. And unlike with the Commodore, I can't quite make up that time through the corners. Here we go. Launched it better towards. Still it's boinging around on the landing there, which is not going to help the Porsche. I think we're on for a better lap maybe this time around. Dive to the inside we go for that very, very big stop. That was a little bit early on the brakes that time around. At least a tad neater through there. Oh, 33.8. That is more like it. That is more the sort of lap time that we were looking to see from this car. It is into the 33s. Still got to find a second, though. If we want to go quicker than the Commodore, that's going to be a really, really tall order for the Porsche here. It's a lovely car to drive, though. It's a very, very nice car. If we could have it a little bit lighter, just a little bit less weight in this vehicle would be ideal. But it's perhaps a little bit too heavy. That was... Oh. I am really pushing. And it's nice to have confidence in the car that you can really, really push this car right to the limit. And it is very, very well behaved. I just think a little lack of that mid-range acceleration is what does it, and bouncing around across the jump isn't helping. We've seen it from a few cars. It has tended to be the larger, heavier cars, and I wouldn't have said this was quite like the Bentley, for example, but we have seen a few cars have big issues with bouncing on the landing, and the Porsche is apparently one of them. Here we go again. Oh, I'm facing a little bit to the left this time. Was a better run through there. We didn't bounce around as much, but still not perfect from the Porsche. In fact, we didn't really get any mega boosts from this car. Up towards the final corner we go for the last time. Get it stopped nicely. Run towards that line. It's not any quicker, though. I think that's a 34.0 or something on the final lap. Yeah, it's statistically, it looked like a good car. Driving it is a lovely car to drive. I think one of the most predictable, one of the easiest cars to really push very, very hard. Wasn't a lover of the jump. We got bounced around an awful lot, actually, on the landing with the Porsche, which is less than ideal, never getting a mega run. And as I said, it's that mid-speed acceleration, I think, is where we are lacking just the tiniest bit of performance. Through the turns, though, yeah, very, very good car. Very good car to drive indeed. And that lap time puts it in, well, it's a very crowded area. Very crowded area indeed of the table. And it is right amongst that golden era of cars. It will go into a 9th place. Beats the Mercedes 190e, the Mark III Supra, the Corvette Stingray, Ford Pursuit Ute, for example. We are talking just fractions down on the Mazda MX-5. The M3 Legacy and Lotus Elise little group is only a 1/10 of a second faster down the road. You know, we're only 3/10 off second place. That's RX-7, the Hoonigan RX-7. So it is, yeah, right up at the sharp end of the table. Just not quite got enough. Not got enough grip or mid-range acceleration to fight with that fantastic Holden Commodore. About a second down on that. However, that will be it for this video. Thank you very much for watching, and until next time, goodbye.